He is the best student in the class, but he has never been ranked first in the exam. He is a little monster living in the shadow of two superheroes. And no matter how hard he tries, he will be compared with them. He was injured 41 times in his 15-year career, with over 3 months of rest due to injuries. The unlucky guy who suffered 6 serious injuries is widely recognized as the most talented Brazilian, almost synonymous with Brazilian football in the second decade of the 20th century. He has always been a young man who loves football. This Brazilian genius is both the protagonist and the victim of this epic. Let's relive Neymar's 15 years together. 15 years ago in the world football world, the Brazilian team of the Samba Army had no successors and the chances were slim. Daluo enjoyed his last playing time at Corinthians. Robinho stayed in the Premier League for 6 months before being loaned back to Brazil. The groin injury had already lost Kaká's explosive power. And at that time, Ronaldinho and Ade did not even qualify for the Brazilian team. Surprisingly, the Brazilian team's most impressive opponent in the frontcourt was only the La Liga silver boot Fabiano. The Samba Army stopped in the quarterfinals of the World Cup in South Africa, just as Brazilian fans pessimistically believed that their national team was experiencing the most serious shortage in history. A boy riding a bicycle suddenly appeared, became the hope for the revival of Brazilian football. At that time, old fans who had watched Neymar play football sneered at the current media environment. At the age of 18, scoring a dozen goals and daring to call yourself a genius. It cannot be blamed for his high vision, because Neymar was 18 years old, scored 42 goals and provided 9 assists. This data scared everyone at that time. It was the richest club in Europe, and Chelsea came knocking on the door with a check of £20 million. What is the concept of this price? That year, Real Madrid brought in Angel Di Maria, and the transaction price was only slightly higher. Even if he didn't end up in the Premier League, he still couldn't bring the world's valuation of him at that time. But as his fame grew, Neymar has become a thorn in the side of the Brazilian league. Why can only you stand out? At that time, there was even a trend in the Brazilian league. Couldn't stop him, would shovel him, trip him up, and kick him. That's also why in the 201 season, the number of goals scored by 19-year-old Neymar significantly decreased. The sword is honing growing. Neymar is like the male lead of a super British movie. Faced with the opponent's pursuit, interception, and rough fouls, he completes the counterattack in the most exhilarating way possible. He led the team to the final of the Liberator Cup, set the first goal for the team in the second leg of the final, helped Santos defeat Penarol, raise an important championship in South America. Half a month later, in the crucial match against the Brazilian powerhouse Flamengo, he scored a goal that will go down in history forever. He overtook 2 people on the sidelines, and after completing the turn coordination with his teammates, he scored a goal after crossing the opponent. Even more dramatically, former FIFA World Player of the Year Ronaldinho witnessed this goal as an opposing player, and the topic brought by this goal is not over yet. At the end of that year, Neymar's goal defeated Messi's volley after skipping the goalkeeper, and his brilliant ultimate victory in the Manchester Derby earned him the Puskás Award that year. The 2011 World Cup final, Santos, led by Neymar, faced Barcelona and suffered a 0- for defeat, which allowed him to understand the strength of European giants. At that time, Real Madrid was also very eager to acquire this top scorer and best player, and contacted Neymar through intermediaries. It is said that the angry President Santos almost rushed into the FIFA office to report Real Madrid, which led to Real Madrid's retreat. Neymar also agreed to stay with the team after the Brazil World Cup, and he steadily grew over the next 2 years, starting for the senior national team. If there was any setback in the middle, it would be the Brazilian team led by Neymar, who missed out on the Mexican men's football gold medal at the London Olympics, but this also laid the groundwork for a comeback for years later. In the summer of 2013, Brazil and England played a friendly match, in which the 2 teams drew 2-2. In front of fans around the world, the English right-back was overtaken by Neymar more than 10 times before he pulled himself and left the field. And a month later in the 2013 Confederations Cup, Brazil's opponent who made it to the final was the previous year's European Championship champion Spain. At that time, Spain had already been unbeaten in 29 official international matches and was still considered to have no weaknesses. But Spain lost completely to Brazil in the final, defeated by Neymar, who officially wears the number 10 jersey. From the moment the opening whistle sounded, sprinting, running, dribbling, scoring, dribbling, passing, and receiving, Real Madrid defender Avaroa couldn't keep up with this young player who could have been a clone. Neymar assisted his teammate in scoring at the beginning, and if it weren't for the referee's mercy, Avaroa might have been sent off with a red card 30 minutes later. In the second half, Neymar continued to dribble past Busquets and Pique, creating a red card for Spain. In the end, Neymar scored 1 goal, 1 assist, and 1 rainbow against the European Championship champions, successfully passing the ball 9 times. Brazil scored 3 goals to break Spain, and this game is also known as the beginning of the decline of the Invincible Fleet. However, the professor chairmen who were played with were not angry because they knew this extraordinary young man was going to become their teammate. Continue in the next episode.